Welcome to the Literacy Cluster session on the literacy block used here in Guyana. Now, across Guyana, Literacy Hour or Literacy Study is the period set aside and designed for teaching literacy in the primary schools. During Literacy Hour, attempts are made to help students become competent in reading and writing, also in speaking and listening. Lessons are taught to help pupils develop specific skills, including critical thinking, communication, and gathering information. Now, an overview of the components of the literacy block used in Guyana's classroom. The goal of the literacy hour, again, this is to improve students' language skills and their general learning. So literacy hour starts with an introduction. This is where the teacher would grasp the children's attention as well as make them aware of the objectives of the lesson. Now the next 15 minutes are for phonemic awareness, followed by 15 minutes for teaching phonics. After phonics, there are small group tasks like guided reading, drawing, tracing, writing, and building vocabulary. And to conclude, the literacy hour reflection is done. This is when the teacher and students talk about what they did and what they learned. The five big ideas. During the literacy block, the five big ideas are focused on. Now, the five big ideas which are focused on here in Guyana are phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. We will now look at the five big ideas. The first one is phonemic awareness. Now, this is the ability to understand that spoken words and syllables are made up of a collection of speech songs and the ability to hear and modify these songs. Phonemic awareness teaches children to notice, think about, and work with sounds in spoken language. Some activities which a teacher can use to teach phonemic awareness includes sounding out the beginning sound of words, identifying the similar sound in a set of words, identifying odd sounds in a set of words, or combining phonemes to form words. Phonics. Now, phonics is an instructional approach that involves linking letters with associated speech sounds in order to teach reading. And phonics is the relation between how words are spelled and how specific letter groups sound. It is used as a method of teaching students how to quickly decode and read words in a language. Some activities which the teacher can use to teach phonics include modeling songs, practicing sounding out letters, converting letters into sounds, and combining songs to create words. Fluency. Now, this is teaching pupils to read effortlessly with speed, accuracy, and expression. Reading with fluency enables readers to derive meaning from the material they've read. Readers who are fluent are able to recognize words and grasp them simultaneously. Some activities which a teacher can use to teach fluency include model reading, rereading books, using the reader's theater. This is where they would dramatize voice or use puppets and other things in reading to grasp the children's attention and make reading fun. Paired reading can also be done. Vocabulary. Now, vocabulary deals with the words that pupils know. So this is basically knowing what words mean, how to say and use them correctly. And there are various activities which the teacher can use to teach vocabulary, including games, word maps, using the dictionary, among others. The last idea is reading comprehension. And comprehension instructions ensure that pupils can demonstrate what they understand from what they read. So basically, this is understanding what they have read so that they can be able to answer questions, explain what is going on in a story or passage. And there are many techniques which the teacher can use to teach reading comprehension, such as predicting, making inference, asking questions, and making connections with the text, among other techniques used for reading comprehension. And these are the 5 big ideas which are focused on during the literacy block. Now, I will look at the strengths of the literacy block used in Guyana's classroom. The first strength is that the block enables a structured approach. Now, it follows a well-organized structure with specific time allocations for each component, and it provides a clear path for teachers and pupils. It enables teachers to incorporate various strategies. So teachers can use different strategies to teach to cater for all the different students in the classroom. The literacy block aids in comprehensive skill development. Now it enhances foundation skills crucial for early literacy development. And the key components are addressed. So the 5 big ideas are addressed, which will help students read fluently and aid in comprehension. Another strength is that it aids in reading and overall language development. And the final strength that I have identified is that the inclusion of reflection time encourage teacher-pupil dialogue. And this provides useful feedback for continuous improvement in teaching methods. We will now look at the weaknesses of the literacy block used in Guyana's classroom. So the first weakness is that limiting literacy instructions to 1 hour poses a weakness in terms of time constraints. Now, the rigid time structure may limit flexibility, and this causes challenges to cater for the varying needs of each pupil. Also, unforeseen interruptions are not catered for. Another weakness is that rigid adherence to a structured framework may not sufficiently address unique challenges. So the time allotted for each component are expected to be followed. And once teachers follow this structure, they may be unable to address the unique challenges that some of the students may have in the classroom. The literacy block also has the assumption of uniform pace. So it assumes that all pupils progress at the same pace, which is in most instances, this is not the case. So this leads to gaps in understanding for some pupils in the classroom. New teachers also find it difficult to incorporate the different components in each lesson. So while gathering this information for my presentation, I found that new teachers are not aware of how to plan for the literacy instruction and to plan for the literacy hour effectively due to their lack of training in literacy. They also find it difficult to include the five big ideas in their various lessons and follow the 2 week cycle. Now, the proposed remedies to strengthen the literacy block structure. First, allocate more time for literacy. Given more time, especially at the grades 1 and 2, will help the literacy hour to be, or literacy study to be more effective. Allocating more time for crucial components as well in the later grades like grades 3, 4, 5, and 6. More time should be spent on the components where students have the most problems with. Next, allowing more flexible schedule. Allowing some flexibility in the structure to accommodate unexpected interruptions or extended time in areas where pupils need more support. Also, providing additional support for students who may need it. Additional support such as extracurriculum activities, reading programs to encourage reading beyond the literacy hour, using technology such as reading apps and online platforms to cater for various learning styles will help to strengthen the literacy block. Also, regular professional development for teachers, providing ongoing professional development for teachers to stay up to date on effective literacy strategies, differentiated instruction techniques, and using technology will help teachers to be able to better plan for literacy and effectively carry out their lessons to ensure that students are able to grasp the concepts that are being taught. Now, we can conclude, and in conclusion, we can see that the literacy block here in Guyana has many strengths and it equally has some disadvantages which needs to be rectified. If the proposed remedies such as allocating more time for literacy, allowing more flexible schedule, providing additional support for students that may need it, and regular professional development are implemented, the literacy block can become even more effective. Here we have a sample lesson plan for literacy study. This lesson plan is done for the grade 6 level. The time is from 9 to 10 and our topic would be word analysis. Now, the specific objectives listed there is that with the aid of a video game and listening to a story, pupils will create a word list with the FR blend, identify words in the story with the FR blend, and read at least one paragraph of the given passage. The specific objective is set up in such a way that it caters for differentiated instructions. It caters for the different groups of learners. Now, for phonemic awareness, the FR blend would be done. Pupils would need to sound out the individual letters and sound out the blend. For phonics, they would need to create a word list with the FR blend, and then they would be segmenting the sounds of the words from the word list. For vocabulary, they will be completing sentences with words with the FR blend. We also have the activities for both the teacher and the learners, the introduction, the development these are listed in 3 stages, as well as the resources that will be needed for the lesson. For fluency and reading comprehension, the pupils will be given a worksheet which they will be reading the passage. They would be required to read at least 1 paragraph fluently, and they would be required for reading comprehension to answer questions. So we have all the information listed here on the lesson plan for the different stages which the pupils and the teachers will need to complete. And this lesson would not be an introductory lesson, but it would be when you're coming down to the end of the 10-day cycle. And as you can see, it caters for all the different components, including phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and reading comprehension. We can see that the literacy block used here in Guyana has several strengths as well as weaknesses. In order to improve the literacy block here in Guyana, the proposed remedies would need to be implemented. Thank you for listening to the presentation. The references listed below were used to gather the information.